Buffered by grassland, the collision is strangely quiet. Dirt sprays as the small plane scrapes away the top layer of Montana soil, coming to an abrupt halt in the middle of our field. Black smoke billows as fire leaps to life on the front end of the mangled plane. Standing for a moment in shock, I leave my sister Anna, eating cold peach soup at the table, and run out the open back door. The corners of my mouth stretch as I scream for J-Bill, who is down the lane, working beneath the pavilion. I cannot see him, and I doubt he will be able to hear me. But over the din of the devouring flames, I do not hear anything. Not the whine of the saw blades that sometimes soothes my sister's tantrums. Not the fierce roar as J-Bill and his crew power wash bark from the once standing dead trees that will soon become the walls of another log house. On the back porch, I grab a piece of firewood left over from winter and leap down the steps. I cross through the gate and wade into the meadow and see that around the plain, a diameter of grass is seared by the heat of the fire. I scream for J-Bill again, and then I scream for my younger brother Seth, who is working down at field to table at the end of the lane. I run up to the plane and stare into the cockpit. The windshield is shattered. The pilot is slumped over the control panel. Blood trails down half his face like a port wine stain. For a moment I think he is already dead. Then I see his fingers twitch near the throttle. "Can you hear me?" I yell. The man groans and tries to look at me without turning his head. I use the butt of the log to hit the door handle because the handle itself is too far off the ground for me to reach. When it won't budge, I try to break the side window, thinking it'd be better for the pilot to be cut by the glass than burned to death. But the glass is too thick, and the window, same as the handle, is too far off the ground for me to put any leverage behind my swing. "You have to help. I don't know how to get you out." The pilot says nothing. His deep-set eyes close as he loses consciousness, his jaw slackening beneath a tangled beard. I hear a sound over the crackling flames and turn to see J-Bill and his logging crew charging down the lane. Some of the men are still wearing hard hats or protective goggles, and the sawdust from their work sifts from their bodies like reddish sand. Their uniform steel-toe boots stamp the meadow as they surge toward us, about 10 of them, and create a circle around the wreckage. J-Bill is carrying a crowbar, his brother Malachi carries a shovel, Christian a fire extinguisher, and the Englisher, Sean, a bolt cutter. They did not need me to scream for help because of course they would have seen the plane crash on their own. The entire community must have seen it. I keep holding my worthless piece of firewood to my chest and watch the crew extinguish the fire and pry open the cockpit door. Then J-Bill tries to lift the pilot out by his arms. The man falls toward him, but his feet remain lodged under the crumpled floorboard. J-Bill uses the crowbar to work the pilot's feet free. Christian tugs on the pilot's shoulders, and he slides out into the waiting logger's arms. The plane's metal ticks, and acrid smoke from the charred engine burns my throat and eyes. I back up from the plane in case it catches on fire again. J-Bill turns to me.
"We take him to your house?"
"Yeah." I gouge the wood with my nails. "Of course." J-Bill Snyder has been the foreman of the logging crew since his father's sudden passing last year, when literally overnight J-Bill became the wealthiest man in the community. At 21, he is only 2 years older than I, but next to his uncle, the bishop, he is also the most revered. Therefore, when J-Bill calls out commands, the men respond in unity. They move across the meadow as one, the pilot's broken body borne by their work-hardened arms. Running in front of them, I open the gate and prop it with an overturned wheelbarrow. I dart up the steps into the house, and Anna looks up from her bowl. "We need the table," I say in Pennsylvania Dutch. "You'll have to move." My 16-year-old sister continues watching me with the eyes of a child, her smile serene despite the bedlam outside. "I mean it," I continue, because sometimes she understands more than she lets on. I take her bowl of soup over to the countertop. Anna frowns and stands to retrieve it, as I expected she would. I drag the chairs away from the table and remove the tablecloth and quart jar full of weeds Anna picked and arranged like flowers. Knowing the pilot's appearance will upset my sensitive sister, and the small crowd in our home will upset her even more, I carry the soup bowl, cloth napkin, and spoon into the back bedroom we share. "Read to you?" Anna asks, glancing up at me with an impish smile. What she really wants is for me to read the book to her. "Later, I promise."